All right, let's get it. You're watching NBA Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Chase Sr. Today's show sponsored to you by Mint Mobile. Cell phone plans starting for as little as $15 per month. You may have heard of this company before. It's the cell phone company owned by the famous actor Ryan Reynolds. They are changing the game with these cell phone plans for very affordable prices on America's largest 5G network. We'll tell you more about Mint Mobile coming up around the corner, but for now, that link available for you in the comment section and the description of this video. Start saving money today. Now, we'd be remiss if we didn't start today's show getting to the latest on Kevin Durant. An update for you coming from Brian Windhorst as he said today on Get Up on ESPN that KD trade talks have slowed down. And as of right now, as of this recording on our live show, really isn't a Kevin Durant market, with the Phoenix Suns basically being taken out of the equation because DeAndre Ayton cannot be traded until January after signing that contract back a couple days ago. So we'll get you caught up on the latest going on with KD, one of the best players of all time. Made his trade request back on June 30th. So we're a couple weeks in, 3 weeks to be exact, 4 years remaining on his deal for the acquiring team. Little less than $43 million this upcoming season. The year after that, $46.5, followed by nearly $50. Then in the final year of his deal of that extension that he signed last offseason, base salary of $53 million. And right now, trade talks are slow. Fascinated to see how this trade market will develop, but up to this point, really isn't much of a trade market. We go to Brian Windhorst now. The picture in the background, legendary. From what I understand, the trade talks involving Kevin Durant have slowed to trickle. I'm not sure what that means, but Brian Windhorst has been spot on with a lot of his reports throughout the offseason. You can still get some Nets folks on the phone if you want to make an offer, but they are not aggressively, I am told, making outgoing calls. The league is about to go on their first significant vacations in 2 years. People are scattering to Europe and the national parks, and Kevin Durant is still a Net, and I don't think that's going to change in the short-term future. Now, a lot of you are saying this, wait, why is everybody going away? Well, really for the first time in a couple of off seasons, NBA league executives, the NBA league as a whole, they're able to take real vacations. If you remember last offseason and the offseason before that, it was all just kind of jumbled together because of the coronavirus. Now, and in 2022, it's the first normal NBA offseason that we've had in a couple of years. And this is what I've been saying for a long time. And this is why you subscribe to the channel, because our analysis and our ability to look into the crystal ball to predict these things is spot on. After Summer League, after the NBA draft and free agency, everybody goes out on vacation because it's their opportunity to catch a breath, get away from the game of basketball after the rigors of the regular season and the offseason slate, and then you combine that with the fact that this is the first time that these people have had a normal offseason in a little while, with NBA training camp picking back up in September. So it's really not much of a break, and when these people are away from these facilities and away from the phones, these trade discussions really not taking place because they need to be able to rest up for the 2022-2023 season. So, what do you think is going to happen with Kevin Durant? Is he going to get traded at all, or is he going to go back to the Brooklyn Nets? Give me a T for trade and for the Nets. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, use it to your advantage, scroll on down, and get your votes in. Now, we continue to move forward with Kevin Durant. According to reports, the Miami Heat prioritizing two players, Kevin Durant and Donovan Mitchell. But if they have their selection among these two stars, and Kevin Durant a superstar, Donovan Mitchell, in my opinion, a trending star, they would rather acquire Kevin Durant. And in the immediacy of the moment, if you're looking at this window over the next couple of years, KD, if you're trying to win a championship once more, is the player that you want to go after. But the asking price for KD, even though he's older at 34 years old, going to be a lot higher as compared to Donovan Mitchell. And the asking price between the two stars, it's going to be high regardless and nonetheless. Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report saying this: the Miami Heat remain focused on acquiring one of these aforementioned all-stars, and multiple sources with knowledge of the situation told Bleacher Report that Miami has prioritized Kevin Durant over Donovan Mitchell. And you really have to watch out for the Godfather, Pat Riley, making a move here. The Heat just made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they're not settling there. You go back to the bubble season. They made it to the NBA Finals. A couple years later, they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Normal organizations, they would be content with that success. But the Miami Heat, led by Pat Riley, as well as Eric Spoelstra, hashtag Heat culture, they're always pursuing greatness, and they don't want to settle for a conference finals appearance. They understand that Kevin Durant can be the player that puts them over the top. The only thing is they can't give up Bam Adebayo in a trade unless the Nets trade away Ben Simmons because of those rookie contract rules. So that a big caveat in these prospective trade talks. There's also this from Adrian Wojnarowski on Donovan Mitchell. Utah talked with the Knicks early last week. They exchanged some ideas of what a potential Donovan Mitchell deal might look like. Now, the Jazz are out talking to the rest of the league, seeing what else might be available to them. Now, I kind of exchanged and relayed my thoughts on KD and Donovan Mitchell and which player I'd rather have and which player the Miami Heat would rather have over the next couple of years. But I want to pose this question for the audience. Over the next 5 years, who would you rather go with? KD for Kevin Durant at 34 years old, DM for Donovan Mitchell, who's in his early 20s. Sound off and let us know right now. Now, there's also this, as we continue to focus in on KD here. According to Sam Amico, he said watch out for the Washington Wizards to acquire the hometown kid. Hometown kid? Yes, that's right. KD, born in D.C., he grew up in Prince George's County, attended high school in the DMV, as he kind of popped around to a couple of different schools in that area. But when I examine what the Wizards have on that roster, they have Bradley Beal, of course, but because he signed that contract extension, he can't be involved in a trade soon. It would have to be later on in the middle of the NBA season. And what are they going to give up? Corey Kispert, Rui Hachimura, Johnny Davis? The Brooklyn Nets ain't taking that, and they're not taking Kristaps Porzingis, who producer Coop was in shambles about when the Mavericks traded him away for Spencer Dinwiddie. As I mentioned off the top of the show, we are sponsored by Mint Mobile. On America's largest 5G network, their cell phone plans start as low as $15 per month. And nowadays, inflation is hitting everybody hard, and everybody's trying to cut costs and save some money. You can do that with Mint Mobile and get signed up today so that you can start saving some bread. MintMobile.com/chatsports. It offers unlimited talk and text, high-speed data, a mobile hotspot, and very affordable cell phone prices. Even your parents might ask you, yo, why are you calling us so much? Because you get unlimited talk and text. Use it to your advantage. Get this deal today by using that link at the bottom of your screen. It's mintmobile.com/chatsports. I had to switch because I was paying $150 per month on my cell phone plan. I hit up my pops because I'm on the family plan, and I said, yo, Dad, I'm going to be able to maintain my number, not have to get a new phone, and switch over to Mint Mobile and save money. He said, you know what? I studied economics at Brown. I didn't give you those smarts, but you're smart by using that deal to your advantage. Now we pivot to Mike Conley, the Athletic, with this, saying that the Jazz have had trade discussions about Conley, but he's really expensive at the age of 35 and the play starting to go downhill, and that's been the case the last couple of years. Cap hit next year, $22.5 million. The year after that, in 2023-2024, partial guarantee of 14 plus. You look at his numbers over the last couple of years, right? And at one point, with the Memphis Grizzlies, early on in that Jazz tenure, Mike Conley was excellent. Mike Conley was really good, and that's why he's been able to land a couple of big contracts throughout his NBA career. But in his mid-30s, not only has the play gone down, the injuries have gone up. And in the playoff series against the Mavericks, he was dog. This past regular season, less than 14 points per game. The shooting split's still very, very solid, 43.5%. Less than 41% from three-point range. And then you look at the numbers the prior 3 years. 2018-19, the best season among these last four. If you get that production, that's great. But we're about to be 5 years removed from that season. Now, you can go with the worst option at point guard as compared to Mike Conley. I'd rather have him as compared to a player like Russell Westbrook. Conley, cheaper, better player, more efficient, but the injury issues are certainly a concern, and the play sliding downhill, a little bit of a concern as well. So I think he's probably about a 70 to 80 range right now if you were to grade Mike Conley. But what do you think about Conley as a player? Your opportunity opportunity to be a part of the show like I am as the host and be the NBA scout. 1 to 100, scale Conley as a player. And while you're down there, smash that red subscribe button down below, because when big moves happen, when there are juicy rumors out there, when we have to get the creative juices flowing, we always come up with the best content here at Chat Sports. We're only going to continue to keep growing. Join the family, join the squad, youtube.com/chatsportstv. If you like grinders and hustlers, that's what we do here inside the walls of Chat Sports.